Happy New Year! Finals are done and the hassle of the holidays are over. I'm on a mission to make 2026 magical, and in honor of that, I'm heading to the Harry Potter expedition in Dallas, where props, costumes, and showcases are displayed to celebrate the magic of the wizarding world. Seeing as I created a YouTube channel dedicated to props, I wasted no time heading on my Hogwarts Express to my next magical quest at the Harry Potter expedition. So as soon as I checked in, I was given this bracelet which I had to activate, which meant putting my name, photo, Hogwarts House, wand, and Patronus. Once I set it up, the real magic began. I was taken into this room which had a first edition Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on display and an authentic trolley from the end of Deathly Hallows. What stood out to me with the book was how it reminded me of how something so big can come from something so small. What started as some words on a napkin turned into a book, and that book turned into something bigger. It gave me a sense of relief knowing that starting small doesn't always mean not starting strong. This feeling grew stronger as I watched the intro they showed to remind us of everything we were celebrating. Once it was over, we unlocked a door and went to another room modeled after the Marauders map. In this room, we retreated to a couple of trivia questions, which I went pretty late in the afternoon, so it was just me and two other dudes. I mean, I still destroyed the trivia, because what else am I supposed to do with my time? Join a fantasy team? My social life is a fantasy team. But after trivia, everything was pretty much up to your own pace, which I really liked because, well, I went alone, so. After the Marauder room, I went through this hallway that featured the portraits from the films, which I always found the portraits to be such an integral part to Hogwarts' vintage makeup. I don't know how to put it into words, but I thought it was pretty cool. On the other end of the hallway was a showcase of the Hogwarts houses and the costumes and props of their most well-known alumni. I really loved how, even in the casual clothing, you could see details that matched them to their Hogwarts house. Luna, for example, has a very outgoing appearance, which I feel speaks about the wisdom she has that allows her to be so comfortable in her skin. I was really invested in the Ravenclaw section because it's always been a very personal, tangible part of my identity. The Slytherin section was also pretty fascinating because the aesthetic is dark, but also kind of like a cozy darkness. I also peeped the Gryffindor and Hufflepuff sections, but not for long because they're already the favorite children. They don't need any extra attention from me. The next section was a highlight of my experience because it focused on the front face of my Harry Potter obsession: wands. At first I was sad there was no section dedicated to Ollivanders, but this was more than enough to cover the spirit of that set. The room was very welcoming in exploring the connection between each character and their wand, and it's just, words cannot do justice for how beautiful this room was. When I do a prop perspective, I will definitely be using the information because it'll be extremely helpful in tailoring towards that video. Looking at all of the wands and the choices behind them was really inspiring, and just seeing the care that was taken to tailor them to the world and their respective characters. While I was in the room, I was comparing the detail to my own personal wand. I got this one when I went to the Harry Potter expedition in New York, and the tailors and the craftsmanship behind it and just how I feel like it speaks to me as a person is why it goes with me anywhere Harry Potter related, just no matter what. See, I would have spent more time nerdgasming, but I was late for potions class. Before I got to work, I got a snack from this tasty selection on Snape's shelf. The work of art was practically begging for me to indulge. We had our selection of potions to make, so I decided to go with Felix Felicis because I wanted to ask out this cute girl in my defense against the dark arts class. It must not have worked because she told me that instead we could go to the hourly and nosotros podemos ponernos al verano a Cuenca. Mi español es el mejor, pero creo que es just some Spanish form of a timeout, so I passed. I skipped divination for an extra lesson in defense against the dark arts. I don't think it was the best option because the Bogart got loose, and when it was its turn to attack me, it didn't know how to manifest itself as not amounting to anything, and then having to live as a tap dancing fish on Point Nemo. So it just kind of locked itself in the closet, cried, I don't know. Kind of hurt my feelings though. To get my mind off of it, I tried playing Quidditch, but they kicked me off because I kept scoring for the wrong team. My day was bad enough already, and now I had to go to herbology, which I love how cozy the classroom is, but it definitely is my least favorite class. In hindsight, I should have skipped the moment that I saw the lesson was on mandrakes, or when the guy I was paired with said something about enjoying their screams. That was probably the last thing I heard before pulling the mandrake out of the soil and replacing it with my fat head. Seemed like everyone else had the same idea, which sucked because when I woke up, the mandrake was still whining like a little bitch. So anyway, I was on my way to Transfiguration when all of a sudden I was called into Headmistress Umbridge's office because of the whole Mandrake incident. I thought I talked my way out of it, but then she had the audacity to call me a liar just because I wasn't telling the truth. We all know how Umbridge gets when she's angry, so I kind of kept going because it was pretty funny. I mean, what was she gonna do, expel me? I mean, that's exactly what she did, but I thought she was gonna get a little more creative. Not like being home was bad. Luckily, I live in a world full of port keys and time turners, so also Hogwarts is Hogwarts, so it's not like security was a huge threat. One little trip to the sewers, and I was back in business. This was another highlight of the experience because the Deathly Hallow props are probably the most front and center throughout the entire franchise, especially in the last two.
I always like the Deathly Hallows Part 2 also because it's the only film besides Order of the Phoenix that gives us some Ravenclaw breadcrumbs. I would have put it at the top of my list if the invisibility cloak wasn't so cheap and obviously not the screen accurate cloak. But that was it. This part was pretty much the end of the experience. There's also a section dedicated to Dumbledore's office and the Battle of Hogwarts.
At the end of the experience, we were shown the amount of points each house had accumulated. And to that end, to all of my fellow Ravenclaws, I'm sorry I did not mean for the Mandrake Incident to get out of hand, and if you guys give me another chance, I'll be sure to do it on purpose. So yeah, after accepting my defeat, I made my way to the gift shop, which I feel like it had a really decent selection, though I do wish that they had more prop replicas and stuff like time turners, just because I feel like my favorite souvenirs are usually accessories because they feel more faithful to the memory as opposed to like a shirt or something like that. But I get it, like productions and stuff like that. In the shop, I eyed this sweater and also this backpack. My budget was next to none for the gift shop because I'm a college student during the holidays in this economy, so I walked away. Then I walked right back. Yeah, I got it. I also got a butterbeer because I figure if you're going to make bad decisions, you might as well have the drink to swallow them. Nah, I'm just kidding. I've been in the market for a while and I like how versatile this one is. Overall, it was a really fun experience. I really enjoyed celebrating the love that was brought into the wizarding world and really feeling like there was something to take me into the next step of my journey. I also heard that they extended it to like April or something, so you guys still have plenty of time to go if you so choose. Thanks for coming with me on this journey. Look out for new videos and prop perspectives. Live with love and love with care, and I'll see you next time.